Ladies and gentlemen, from Starbucks in Wolverhampton, Golden Ticket present three freedom rounds in the amateur featherweight division, sponsored by Lionheart Meal Brand. And in the right corner, the record 4 wins and only 1 defeat, weighing in at 66 kilograms, representing SPG in Manchester, Elliot Powell. And his opponent fights in the blue corner, also the record 4 wins and 1 defeat, weighing in at 66 kilograms, representing Banbury Martial Arts, Joe Taylor! Your referee in charge of the action is the Harvey Howard.
This amateur featherweight contest, Joe Taylor fighting out of the blue corner, the long black trunks, 4-1, taking on Elliot Powell, fighting out of SPG Manchester, also 4-1. Taylor, however, all 4 of his wins come via first-round submission. Let's see if he tries to work that with Elliot Powell.
Absolutely, yeah, it could mean a number of things. Yeah, it could mean he's really something to watch in terms of submission, or perhaps he's just found guys finding their place in the sport with those early submissions. He certainly looks like he's got plenty in the tank here in the first round, Steve.
Yeah, very aggressive start from Taylor, the Banbury martial arts athlete.
Real Route 1 stuff from the Banbury mixed martial arts fighter.
Really
strikes to close the distance, set up that takedown, scoop the legs, passes into side control, looking to go to work here.
Yeah, he really controlled the far ankle, pulled it out, and slipped into side control really nicely, and now looking to advance his position.
So we know now at least that those 4 first-round submission wins weren't anything to do with the level of the opponent, and all about the level of Joe Taylor.
All about the level of Joe Taylor. Of course, both these guys making their GTFP debut tonight, but Taylor really working to control from the top, and Powell almost pulled him back into his guard, using that knee on the belly to try and maintain the distance, perhaps.
Yeah, there's one thing we know about the SPG Manchester guys. They're incredibly resilient. We see Matt Inman in the corner there. He's got himself out of some crazy situations. He's always been able to persevere, and that's something that really does run through that gym. These are tough guys. They're not going to be fazed by a slow start here.
No, Taylor, though, really working hard to control this round.
Oh, yeah, he's crushing his man with knee on belly here. It looks a decidedly unpleasant position for Elliot.
Oh, he looks for the arm.
Switches for the arm. He's got to grab that wrist now, does Elliot Powell, and lock that position down.
Couple of hammer fists trying to soften him up. Elliot, though.
He's got a better position
and he
here,
pulls
but
himself
he's finally
free.
able to slip that elbow past the fulcrum, but he's already given it back. Or should I say, Joe Taylor has already taken it.
Joe Taylor takes it back, rolls over him, and again Powell's in a position where he's defending that armbar, and does so. And we're going back to it a 3rd time.
3rd attempt here. Elliot Powell trying to stay strong on top. He's doing well. He's stacked it, and he's relieved the grip of Joe Taylor. And the instinct is to just get the heck out of there. He's done very well to remain calm, not just once, but 3 times.
You see Taylor working hard now, bring that foot up high, looking to secure a triangle.
Now that's going to be a Goga Plata attempt there. Now looking for the triangle. And again, Elliot Powell has to be very careful here. 10 seconds. Joe Taylor trying to effect the big squeeze, I think.
I'm trying to work the arm.
I think Powell's done it, and he has.
Yeah.
Struggled to keep up with that one at times, Steve. That was fast and furious 3 minutes of action.
Joe Taylor, just relentless, whether it's striking, the takedown, or submission attempt after submission attempt after submission attempt. The kid didn't stop.
Yeah, we talked about early on in that fight, four first-round submission wins at amateur can mean 1 or 2 things. We know exactly what it means now. This kid is absolutely mustard on the ground. And, it's not just like the submission attempts. It was the fact that he was able to secure that position so quickly, so comfortable, and then he just made it absolute hell for Elliot Powell there, crushing him with knee on belly. keeping chest to chest, not giving him any room to breathe, figuratively and literally, just making it an entirely unpleasant situation for Elliot Powell to be in. And we've seen lesser fighters get broken in these situations. You know, they say position before submission for a reason. Joe Taylor's certainly got that down pat. And it's going to be very interesting now to see what Elliot Powell does in this second round.
Yeah, because Taylor uses an aggressive striking game to get into that distance, and happy throwing knees and
tight clinch there from Powell. He tried to back away on the takedown, tried to just palm off, not successful.
Really
Joe Taylor's linked the hands.
Beautiful double leg there.
Good work with the hips from Powell. He's fighting this to the death. I'd be very surprised, though, if Taylor doesn't complete this takedown. Powell, though, doing everything right. Oh, great work there. Spins 180 degrees as Joe Taylor stops Powell getting his back on the cage to stand up. Absolutely incredible ring generalship there from young Joe Taylor.
And I think Powell worked real well there to secure that full guard again.
We've got a real battle on our hands here.
Look at the pressure Taylor's putting, even in that position, trying to get his posture. Everything he does looks like it's just designed to hurt you.
Yeah, he's falling back for a straight ankle lock here. He's going to have to be very careful he doesn't twist that at an angle. No twisting locks allowed under amateur rules. But that straight ankle lock, the Achilles tendon pull, is all legal. It's a pain submission rather than injury submission. So if you can tough it out, that's fine. You're not going to lose a knee. Easier said than done, though.
Is Elliot going to be able to work this into a dominant position, though, if Taylor's not careful?
Well, that's the risk with leg locks. You give up the position for the submission. If you don't get it, you're all of a sudden in a vulnerable position yourself. That's why we saw the Japanese MMA promotions in the early days of mixed martial arts. You know, they wore boots and ankle guards that facilitated heel hooks, but they also didn't have closed fist strikes to the head on the ground.
Powell managed now to stack his opponent. Looked to land some meaningful ground and pound, but Taylor's just not letting him rest.
Yeah, Taylor again hunting for a straight knee bar here, which would be legal under the rules. Oh, looks like he's getting an extension here, but good work from Powell to bend the knee. And again, Powell can come out on top here, Steve.
Yeah, it looks like he just has to free his leg there, and now
there's an option for an anaconda choke here. There's an option for a Peruvian necktie as well, if he's capable of that. But it seems that Taylor may be a little bit too close to the cage for him to get those legs over. He's perhaps looking for the Peruvian necktie. He needs to get one leg over the back, the other leg up over the top of the head of Joe Taylor, and then basically pull for all he's got. But he's released the grip of the neck, looking to drop some hammers here.
Is this one of those cases that you're a black belt until you get punched in the face, and then you... Because the more Elliot lands, the less Taylor looks.
Great show of sportsmanship there between these two young men. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Steve. And you talked about it as well before. He gave up on a number of occasions there, a dominant top position to hunt out the leg lock and the heel hook. The straight heel hold there. Elliot Powell capitalized because you leave your head vulnerable. You've got two hands attacking one limb. There's nothing to defend yourself with, and you're in an open position. So it gave Powell not only the chance to strike back, but to affect a dominant position and really control the direction that round was going in.
I certainly think a closer round, the round two, than the first. But I think Elliot's got everything to play for here. Absolutely,
100%. He may need a finish going into this third round, but if he can get a dominant position like that again and start that ground and pound, you know, it's the amateur rules. We're not looking for guys to be, punched through the canvas here. If Joe Taylor is judged to not be intelligently defending those strikes, perhaps because he's attacking a heel hook or a knee bar, we could see a TKO stoppage.
Oh. Caught the body kick and bulldozed him down there.
Yeah, unfortunate start for Elliot Powell in this third round.
But working a nice high guard.
Yeah, looking very confident.
Looking at a triangle.
We've seen stranger things. We've seen BJJ black belts get submitted by guys with no official belt ranking in mixed martial arts. This is not a grappling contest.
Keeping that guard high. Taylor trying to posture up. It's a patience game here. One false move and you're either trapped in the submission or you've let him go.
Looking to slice through that guard with the knee.
Yeah.
Is Joe Taylor there.
He seems so very heavy on top. Nice work by Elliot Powell, though, and again goes up high. Oh.
You know, being heavy on top could be really useful for Joe Taylor in this position. He knows he's got the first round in the bag. He may well have the second. If he can just sandbag his man here in the third round, you know, he was in a precarious position at the end of the second. If he doesn't want to take those same risks that he took in the second round.
North-south position here. Don't see this very often.
I'll be very surprised to see the old north-south choke busted out. But there's plenty of options from this position. You know, plenty of ways to move, plenty of angles that Joe Taylor can use here.
He's looking to try and tie up that neck as well. Gave that up.
Powell could be rolled into some kind of guillotine or other choke from this position. He's trying to get the two hands connected here. It's a very awkward position. You know, you're going to have to change position and again put your own back on the canvas really to pull anything off from there. Powell closes the guard again.
You're just waiting for one of the two of them to explode into something.
Yeah, this is a fight that I'd love to see fought over 3 5-minute rounds with elbows. It's a fight I'd love to see fought, you know, for an amateur title over 5 3-minute rounds even.
Yeah.
One of those things you could probably watch all night and never get bored.
Still trying to work that high guard. Trying to control.
He's trying to hook the leg here as well. What that'll do is, if Joe Taylor does step up and stack, he can disrupt the balance and perhaps sweep his man over, take a top position. But, you know, you said it, Steve, Joe Taylor, so heavy on top.
Just looks, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a bizarre feeling when you're in that position as well. You've got a guy who, you know how much he weighs. He might weigh less than you, but all of a sudden, you know, it feels like you've got a grand piano on your chest. The clock is going to tick down on this one, and we are going to see a Joe Taylor points victory, you would have to imagine.
You would think so, but you know, again, the aggressive grappling, the aggression of Taylor, I think was the difference. That and the fact that, you know, you can't fault this kid's car. He kept this pace up for 9 minutes. 9 minutes of grinding work. A great win.
Absolutely. You know, both guys have a lot to take away from this one. You know, Elliot Powell now knows that when he goes back to the gym on Monday morning, he's got to work on his escapes from bottom position.
Absolutely.
That's all he'll do for the next few weeks. And Joe Taylor, you know, he perhaps needs to do a little bit of risk assessment. Is he going to go for those leg-based submissions when you've got a heavy-handed puncher on top of you? Perhaps that's something that he needs to think about Monday morning. But, you know, a great mature performance from him. We could have seen him take similar risks in the third round. We didn't. He took the sensible choice. He used his greatest skill set to best effect, and he's going to take what you would imagine will be all 3 rounds here on the judges' scorecards, if not 3 and 1.
Thoroughly entertaining fight. Let's turn it over to our MC, Ricky Wright, for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 rounds of action running on for the judges' scorecards. The judges scored about 29-28, 29-28, and 29-27. All 3 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. In the blue corner, Joe Taylor.